Welcome to NFL Daily, where we hate a late week injury status change. I'm Gregg Rosenthal. I'm here in the Chris Wesseling podcast studio, taping on a Thursday afternoon with Cynthia Frelund. And I like to put the time when we're taping, and now the show is just going straight out because every once in a while we'll pick a game, and we think that Michael Penix and Drake London are involved, and we get in trouble. That's what happened to me last week when suddenly it was Kirk Cousins throwing to Darnell Mooney, and I was losing that Falcons by a lot.
Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson did it too. Like, we got a lot of, we got bamboozled.
It's tough, but we're here. We're in the studio. If you're new to the show, we pick 3 games against the spread every week. Now, it's a small sample size, so it's tricky.
It's very tricky.
And when you dig a hole, you need some hot weeks to get out of it. And that's what Cynthia Frelund is coming off 3-0 last week.
And I'm still not to 500.
Good job. You took some heavy favorites, and that was the way to go.
Whatever.
So Cynthia went 3-0. I went 2-1. I went and checked the numbers. I've gone 2-1 4 straight weeks after going 1-2 4 straight weeks. So we're on a hot streak. So I'm back to 500. You're very close, and you've been on fire, taking over first place on Game Day View as well. So I will let you start coming off a 3-0 week where I believe you didn't even have to sweat out any of your games. It was pretty easy peasy.
Well, the one that, I think we all kind of sweat out the Bengals and Jets, even though... Because I don't think anyone in Game Day View picked the Jets. But
that's true.
Of our 3 for this show. For this show. No, we were in good news. You know what? I don't like the Falcons, and I'm mad at them for being tricky. So I'm going to go with New England to cover. I know 5.5. It's at home. But here's what I'm telling you. I don't think Drake, first of all, Drake May is the most honest kid ever. When he threw an interception against the Browns, he's like, I didn't know that guy could jump. He just was, I just love him. And I don't think that this is where the Falcons come back and start to look like the good version of them, which we saw against the Bills.
Sure.
I don't think they're the Dolphins or Panthers game, but I don't know who they are. I don't know if they know who they are. I don't know who's playing. Michael Penix Jr., maybe?
Probably. It looks like it.
I don't know. I think I'm going with... Sorry, I'm yelling in your ear, apparently.
No. I'm turning it up, actually. I want more Cynthia.
More Cynthia. So, but I think... I don't know. I'm mad at them, so this is a pure spite pick.
Okay. That's interesting. They're not one of my picks. I've been negging the Patriots too much this season, and I think that's my fan side coming out, that I can't quite believe they're this good, because I truly don't think they are. I think they have issues, but I do believe Drake May is this good. It is crazy if you think about it, because their pass protection hasn't been great.
Nope.
Their running game hasn't been great.
Nope.
They've really made it work with this group of receivers, which I do think is better than people think. Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry. But you can't say that's...
not like a top... You're
no.
like, whoa, that's scary. No, but yet the man is just crushing. He has more, the stat that we've been talking about all week long, more deep 20-plus air yard passing touchdowns than incompletions on such passes. That's insane. 5 passing touchdowns that have for more than 20 air yards, only 4 incompletions on such passes. I just think he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He's like a puppy, it's just going to keep going. There's no
a likable puppy. And when he
who
speaks,
doesn't like a puppy?
Yeah.
All puppies are inherently likable.
He speaks. I just am like, man, I'm old, because he just seems so young to be in the NFL and a franchise quarterback, and he's been great. And one thing he does have is a really good offensive coordinator who I think is helping him along the way. And you mentioned the Falcons. Who are they? Who they haven't been the last 2 weeks, despite all those blitzes, is a team that creates pressure, so I found that interesting. I don't know if there's been something on tape, but the last 2 opponents, the Dolphins and the 49ers, have both gotten the ball out quickly and done a good job stopping those blitzes. So the pass rush hasn't been there. I love that first pick because I hope it happens. All right, I'm going to start with my most confident pick of the week. It's going to be one of my most confident picks of the season.
Whoa.
I've been on Seattle very consistently.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They haven't all been right, because I remember I went against them for Tampa. That was my pick of the year, unfortunately. But I've been right on them quite a bit. I just think top to bottom, they might be the best team in the NFL. And I think this Washington Commanders team still has some juice in the numbers that is showing up. And it's why they're only 3-point underdogs at home to the Seahawks. And maybe your model goes on the other side, because I know they have some underlying numbers from the start of the season that makes them look better than they are. But man, they're a team, Cynthia, that gives up a lot of big plays. And who gets a lot of big plays? Old slinging Sammy Darnold trying to win the 9th straight game on the road for the Mike McDonald Seahawks. That just seems random to me, but at some point I have to recognize that they are a good road team, and I just think they're another class than the Washington Commanders team, which has injury problems and especially problems on the defensive side of the ball.
And no Terry McLaurin. And, I mean, we still don't even know who they're going to play. They're one
probably
of those
Jaden Daniels. We
sure,
do expect.
But is it 100%? No, we don't know. I don't know. I just think all these people are liars. So I don't do the liars that much, you know?
I don't
think they mean to be. Like, right. They're not doing it on purpose.
They've lied about McLaurin before, too, on the other side, where they thought he was going to be okay, and then he wasn't. He was finally back in last week, and it really helped them. And then he goes out in the fourth quarter. He's definitely out. Laramie Tunsil's not healthy. That's a huge one.
He was in and out of that game, and it was like crazy different.
So that, again, we're taping this on Thursday, but to me it makes no sense that the Seahawks would only be 3-point favorites in this game. The vibes in Washington, also terrible. They have this thing where it's like PTSD, and they think they're back in the Dan Snyder era, and everyone's panicking. And I want to say, look, you still have Jaden Daniels. This is never going to be a one-year turnaround. It's an older roster. You're taking a step back to take a step forward. But, man, I have some Commanders fans in my life, and I'm seeing the reports in the media and stuff, and it's just like, this is chaos. Since they lost that Bears game, it has just been all bad. And I think this is a horrible matchup for them. By the way, health-wise, Devin Witherspoon is coming back for the Seahawks. That's a big deal. They're coming off a bye, so they are as healthy as they've been all year. No Julian Love, but for the most part, that is a healthy-looking Seahawks team, and a great, great pass rush is going to make it tough on Jaden Daniels.
I have that one too, but I'm going to not pick it just because we got to add more picks to
All right, give me your second pick.
But I like that. Okay, so I know 10's a lot, but I don't really care because I'm looking at this Chargers team and I'm looking at what's going on in the Titans. I know that it's playing at home. I understand that's 2 scores. What are you seeing?
I have good news for you.
It's 9.5?
It is less than that.
Let's go.
I am looking on DraftKings. I'm trying to remember from where it was earlier.
It was 10.
9.5. So it's
whatever.
Just a little bit less.
I don't care. Fine by me. I'll take it.
We're going to give you every chance to get the wins. And it was 8.5 at one point this week, but it's 9.5 here. So you get it at 9.5. That's what I can do for you.
Okay. Right now, let's talk. Thank you. I appreciate that half a point that you just bought me. That was fantastic.
That's a big half a point.
It is a big half.
10 to 9.5.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking, okay, Joe Alt, the difference with him playing versus not playing, we saw literally and figuratively massive, very different. You see huge results there, 4-1 when he's there, 1-2 when he's not, whatever. Like this whole thing when he's on the field versus off the field. But the other part that I like is that Jeffrey Simmons probably won't be playing, which that helps kind of a lot when you like to run the football. I understand this is a year where the Chargers are kind of throwing the ball more than running the ball, but I still think that even if Jeff Simmons were playing, it's okay. Jeffrey Simmons is really, really tough, but there's so many other places to target. They're just missing so many pieces on that defense, like L'Jarius Sneed. I just don't understand how you stop the Chargers at half capacity.
I was watching a press conference on Twitter from Denard Wilson, their defensive coordinator. And I felt bad for this man. They asked him about the Roger McCreary trade. We shouldn't forget that one either.
Right.
Starting cornerback for their team. Probably their best cornerback right now. Because there's not a lot of good options.
Right.
And he was like, we started the season with Jarvis Brownlee and McCreary and L'Jarius Sneed, and it's unfortunate we don't have any of them available anymore. It was almost a shot at the front office, like, what are you doing? Here's who's not playing on top of, the cornerback they traded away. Jeffrey Simmons has not practiced. He's not expected to play. Xavier Woods, starting safety, has not practiced. Calvin Ridley, hamstring, has not practiced. Chigo Okonkwo was a surprise DNP on Thursday. Now, he did practice a little on Wednesday, but that's not good. And then Arden Key, one of their starting pass rushers. So this defense, which at least was competitive-ish, going up against this Chargers team, which I think is just, as you mentioned, a different team. And Khalil Mack, by the way. Hey, it's funny what happens when you bring back 2 of your best 4 players on the entire team.
But I saw something that and I do want to say, Cam Ward did play well. You tweeted or Blue Sky, I don't remember where I saw it.
It was Blue Sky. I just watched that tape, and I was like, that was a good Cam Ward game.
That's right.
Week.
And both things can be true.
They lost by 24 still. It's like
that's right. So but I do want to say, like, I like Cam Ward. I also think like he has like nerves of steel. Like he just doesn't look like he gets rattled, which is pretty cool. So I just want to give him a little bit of love, but I'm picking against him because the entire defense will be watching in the same. They'll all get the same stats as me.
Right.
On
My note was Cam Ward played well. I think they found a good couple receivers in the draft, which is hard to find in the middle rounds. Those guys are players, sure. Io Manor and DK, like they will have NFL careers, which is not easy to find in third, fourth round wide receivers. No. And my guy Tyjae Spears looked awesome, and yet they still lost by 24. Yeah. Like that's the type of team that we're talking about. And
but I believe just want to give a little love.
You hit one of those wins last week against. Didn't you? Yeah, I think you took the Colts.
I definitely took the Colts.
As one of your picks.
Absolutely.
Okay, my second pick. Really like this one too. Despite any injury news that pops up, Bears -3.
Okay.
That's against the Bengals.
Yep.
Coaching mismatch. This is one where I think Ben Johnson has raised the floor. That when he goes up against a defense with this many problems, and my God, the tape last year should be studied. I mean, last week by the Bengals defense. This is the type of tape that you show to show what not to do. Team building and coaching.
I was like, where are you going?
Like, I can't believe more hasn't been made about it. I guess it's because it was a Jets-Bengals game. It wasn't in prime time. Wasn't seen by a lot of people. It was a fiasco. It was everyone here is in trouble of potentially losing their jobs.
So catch me at a feisty time of week.
Yes.
This is my feistiest moment of the week. I don't know why. But I got really annoyed at the end of that game when they were talking about, because obviously Aaron Glenn went for 2. They were down by 14. So Aaron Glenn on the first touchdown, he went for 2. And you would have thought, by what I heard people commenting about, I don't even know who the commenters were, but they were like, you would have thought Aaron Glenn didn't know how to count.
I actually do know who the commenters were.
I'm not worried about it. I do too, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh.
But I was shouting and throwing things, not because I love analytics and things, but he knows how to count.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I'm glad you mentioned that because their
infuriating
decision to go for 2 in that spot won them the game. And you know what
100%.
Everyone would have done if they didn't get the 2 and then they didn't get the 2 the next time?
The analytics say.
They would have blamed it all on the analytics.
Yeah.
But it wasn't mentioned even by me. I want to apologize to all the NFL Daily listeners from that Sunday night game because that was awesome. Also, the play that they hit on the 2-point conversion by Justin Fields, they actually hit 2 in a row.
That's right.
The first one was outrageous. It was one of those
totally
games. It was just touched by the gods. I was happy for them.
But anyways, you're right but part of the reason that clownery could work in general was because the defense was the Bengals defense was, you outline it.
They're playing these two rookies next to each other, Barrett Carter and now I'm blanking on the second one.
Okay,
I've said his name a million times.
I know that's
Demetrius Knight. I got.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They're just lost. And when I watch the Bears every week, Ben Johnson creates mismatches, creates advantages. I just think I would love their team total too. I just think the team total over under is 32 for them, and they have their own problems on defense. And Joe Flacco, his status is massive for this game. So we're talking on Thursday.
Yeah.
Man, you might get a chance to get the 3 points against Jake Browning, although I have a feeling Flacco will wind up playing in this game. So they're a good offense with Flacco. He's playing at a high level, but ultimately I just think the Bears, their floor is much higher. I think they get this win.
Okay.
-3. All right, your last pick.
All right. So my last pick, I'm going to stick with my same theory of going with taking a big winner to win big.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go with the Rams because 14 points is kind of a lot. And I do like that. It's very tempting. I have them winning by more than 14 points. But at home, the Packers, 12.5.
I like that one.
Against the Carolina Panthers. Okay. Book it. That's the one I want. Packers over 12.5 by more than 12.5 points.
Yeah, I like that one too. I've thought all along this Panthers team, it's they're a 4-4 team that profiles more statistically as a 2-6 team. Mm-hmm. And I was really excited. My Packers came through for me last week. I went big on them all around, saying I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win easy. Wasn't easy necessarily in the first half,
second half.
But in the end, they won by two scores. They covered any alternate line you wanted to throw out there on them. And I just think they're rounding into form. They're a complete team. Where's the weakness? Maybe pass defense, but not really because they have such a good pass rush. And one thing I noticed about the Panthers last week is they could not protect for Andy Dalton. They've had some injuries, and I know your model really accounts for offensive line injuries quite a bit.
O-lines are so massive because, it sounds weird because especially coming off of last week where we had so many games like that weren't one possession finishes, you kind of forget that any week, any team could kind of stun. Remember, the Browns beat the Packers, for goodness sake. So when I'm looking at these things, you have to say, what is the most steadying thing? It's like O-line, O-line, O-line. That's the thing on a game, the biggest game of the week. I think I got to look to see because Trey Smith quietly didn't play last week, and Josh Simmons quietly hasn't played. So O-lines do matter.
Yes, you're of course referring to the Chiefs-Bills game, which just as a bonus, we're on other sides of.
I actually
it's not
hate
going to be one of our.
That's
picks.
Not my pick. No, absolutely.
It's not. But your model.
No,
is
it's not my right. My model's picking the Bills. I think it's drunk.
I'm taking the Chiefs, but I don't feel amazing about it. That's why I would never put that game on this show.
No, never.
Watch it and enjoy it. But I will be rooting for the Chiefs because I'm going to be rooting against you.
Great.
I need to catch up on the Queen on our other show. Okay, last one.
Yep.
Feel good about it.
What is it?
Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Plus 2.5. I was a little surprised about this line. I think they're a better team than the Cowboys overall.
Okay. Now,
the Cowboys have been particularly good at home and terrible on the road. I don't put much into that in general. I just remember it was literally only a year or two ago that the opposite was true of the Cowboys.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I'm going off eye test.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals are a perfectly good team. And in the last 2 games I watched...
That's what I want to be. Perfectly good.
I don't think the Cowboys are. They're worse than that.
Right.
Last 2 games I watched closely, Cardinals take the Colts in Indianapolis to the whistle, to the final play. And it didn't look like they were lucky to be there.
And who else? Same thing with the Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Now, as we're taping, there's a little mystery over whether they could start Jacoby Brissett over a healthy Kyler Murray. I didn't think that was possible, but looking at the practice reports on Thursday, it's a Monday night game. When the media was there, Jacoby was throwing to the starters. Doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I might like it a little better because the offense performed a little better. But you know what? I'm fine because I feel like anyone can score on the Cowboys defense, Kyler or Jacoby Brissett. And it's more about the defense and just the total team, that they've got a respectable defense, a good enough offense, and I trust a more complete team versus what the Cowboys have, which is the worst defense in the league or one of them.
I think it's possible that Jonathan Gannon's let's throw out Jacoby Brissett in front of the media, but we're going with Kyler.
Yes, I do
too.
I do too.
I kind of love him. I think he's very passionate, but I think he would do that. I think he any edge would. Possible.
And that's one where I'm not going to make any excuses, like I kind of did up top about my Falcons pick last week. I was mad about the injuries that popped up.
I think that those injuries were crazy. It did not feel like that was possible.
That was insane.
When I read that, I was like, is this from this? We get all these emails, and it's like you get hundreds of emails every week. And is this from a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Is this current?
Well, we lock them in here. We lock in our picks.
We lock it in.
I'm happy either way. They do have some good injury news, by the way, too. Garrett Williams, who's a good young cornerback, could be coming off the temporary IR for this game. So that's one of their best cornerbacks, and you need it. CeeDee Lamb, who I do expect to play, was certainly not 100% by the end of last week. He banged up his ankle.
Was he 100% at the beginning of last week?
Fair point. He looked good in that first game back, and then this was his second game back, and at some point in that game, I don't know, or maybe it was even before the game.
Right, I don't know.
He started limping around, and when you watch the film, he didn't look quite as good. And then you mentioned Gannon. I think he is a good coach.
He's a great coach.
They're coming off a bye week. They have another defensive player who could be coming back from their defensive line onto the field. Yeah, their first-round pick, Walter Nolan, might be making his NFL debut. So just a lot there.
That's been a long time coming.
It really has been.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
that one is not a huge reason, but I just
sounds like he's 150 years old too.
I like to
Walter. Welcome to the field.
This is your best bit. Is the Walter Nolan name?
It just old.
Sounds like an old name.
It's such an old name.
It really does. Also, this team does not deserve to be 2-6, which they would be with a loss. They're better than that. Yep. I think they're going to get a win on Monday Night Football. What a treat. I hope you go 3-0 again.
Same. I hope you do too.
I hope I do too, but if not, I hope at least I go 2-1 and keep my 2-1 for 5
stay on
straight
that side
weeks
of good.
streak going. Okay, we got the Thursday Night Football recap, and then, of course, on Sunday, we got the whole gang back together. Nick Shook will be back with me for that. Jordan Rodriguez.
Who else?
Patrick Claybon.
What? That sounds like a great crew.
It's a full house. We'll be talking Bills, Chiefs, and a really fun early slate, including that Colts-Steelers game, which I'm really looking forward to. We will see you then.